Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my out-of-box review for the RE100 Dijeh. Now, if you've heard me talking about this kit in the past videos, you know I've had very mixed feelings about it. It's a design that I never really cared too much for in the first place, but when they announced it as an RE and they showed the first art for it, I was totally on board. I thought the original art they showed for it was amazing. It looked really, really awesome. Then when we saw the prototype, I saw that it didn't really look exactly like the artwork, but then as we saw in color, it was looking a little bit better. And I thought, okay, maybe it's not going to be so bad. But now that I've got it, it does, I think my thoughts on it now is that it is a really, really nice kit, and I think it does look good. I think it could have looked better is the thing. I think the original art had it much more like fat and bulky looking, especially like in the legs, the skirt, the kind of waist, torso. So like, I think with a little bit more bulk, I think it really would have looked better. But it's not a bad kit at all. It's still a really, really nice kit. This is my second RE kit that I've built, and I can definitely say the RE line is amazing. People were criticized it at first, saying that it was basically just a 1/100 scale high grade, but I think the Nightingale, maybe you could have said that about the Nightingale, but the kits after the Nightingale I think have done really, really well. I think just at first glance, just looking at this, it looks like a master grade, and that's the thing, like when it comes to Gundams being which grade they are, I mean, if you can make it look like a different grade, then that's really all that counts, really, I think. So if it looks like a master grade and it is able to move like a master grade, then I don't really see what's the big difference or what there is much to complain about. So I think it's got some really nice movement, which we'll go over when we talk about the articulation. It's got some pretty nice part separation. I think not quite as much part separation as the GP04 had, but I think it is pretty color accurate. There are a few stickers on there. Of course, there's a pink sticker on the eye, but the nice thing about the eye is that it is a clear piece. So if you want to paint that in like a clear color, you can do that, or something, anyway, whatever you want to do. It's just nice that it's a clear piece. Then we have this little red sticker here on this shoulder armor piece, and then there is a couple of yellow stickers on this side, just on the front and back of there. That is it on the body. The only other sticker is one on the rifle for the sight inside the rifle there, and that is it. We do, of course, have our sheet of sticker decals as well, but I'm not going to be using those, so as I said in the unboxing, I'm giving those away, which I'm sure they're already claimed by now. So yeah, I think the kit is good, and one thing that I never really liked about the design, one thing that really threw me off about the design was the wings on the back. Looked really stupid. I mean, like wings on other kits like the Freedom and even the Wing Gundam EW or Wing Zero Custom, those wings don't bother me too much. These wings just look really stupid, I think. But I think on this kit they did a really good job of kind of downplaying them quite a bit. So like, especially if you're looking at the kit from the front, you're not going to be noticing the wings. You're going to be looking at all these other cool design aspects that it's got going on. The wings are just kind of there in the back, and you're really not going to notice them all that much. One thing that I noticed as well that I never noticed before was that aside from the shoulder armor being asymmetrical, the other point of asymmetry is on the head. We have a small little extra piece on the side of the head here, that rounded piece that we don't have on that side. I never noticed that before, but during the build, I was putting that on, I thought, there's the one for that side, where's the one for the other side? There's no hole there. Oh, it doesn't have one. So that was just kind of interesting. Otherwise, everything else is symmetrical. While we've got it here, let's go ahead and just start taking a look at some of the articulation. This hose in the back is really nice. It's like that kind of rubbery plastic if you saw in the unboxing. So when you turn the head, it turns with it pretty well. And when you put it up, head doesn't go up all that much, but it does. The tube does go back down into there a little bit, and then down like that. I do kind of wish the head would go up a little bit more, but just because of the design of it, that's pretty much all you're going to get. One thing to mention too, if you guys don't know about the history of this mobile suit, if you never watched Zeta Gundam, despite its very Zeonic looking design, it was used by the Federation and used by Amuro Ray, actually, the pilot of the original first Gundam. So pretty interesting there. I don't really know personally too much history about the Dijeh, actually. I should look into that as to why it has such a Zeonic looking design. I would guess it has something to do with that it's like based off of some like stolen plans for something like from Xeon forces or something, I don't know, but could definitely be wrong about that, but that's just what I would guess without knowing offhand. Sorry that I can't tell you for sure, guys. Anyway, in the waist, we've got a little bit of side-to-side movement there, just a bit, but it's definitely enough, I think. Forward and back, not a whole lot, basically nothing. I mean, you can put it back, nothing really to stay there. Forward, slightly, just a little bit. It's only really noticeable here on that red piece on the cockpit hatch there. Really interesting design cockpit hatch. I do like that. There's a lot of this kit. There's a lot on here to admire in terms of its just design aspects. So I think that's one of the things that really makes this a really nice kit as well. This commander antenna too, how it's just like straight up, almost like pointing forward almost, is pretty cool. Just certain things like that you don't really see too often. The shoulders are pretty cool, very similar to the Hyakushikis and other kind of recent master grades with that kind of like ball looking shape in there. Doesn't come out too far, as you can see, only about like that. And then despite, I mean, with nothing on top of this shoulder there for shoulder armor, that arm's going to be able to come up like that. And then of course very normal articulation for an arm here, swiveling there. Nice double joint here, but it's not going to go full 180 degrees, only that far, but plenty far, I think. The wrist is just also very standard there. This shoulder armor piece, it's on a ball joint, so it can move a little bit and rotate like that. These sort of hook things on here can go up and down like that, and there's this pretty cool, like, not exactly piston, but kind of mechanical piece there that moves along with those, so that's pretty nice. Just something kind of cool, unique. Here on this side, this shoulder armor piece can move up and down independently from the arm there, and then this piece can move up and down independently. No other articulation there, but just that being that is pretty cool if you want to have a all the way up, down, whatever you want to do, just for some kind of extra shoulder armor there. It's very reminiscent of just like a Zaku's shield, how it's just this sort of side shield like that. Very similar to that. The skirt armor is pretty interesting, despite just the interesting shape. It also moves sort of interestingly, so it's going to open up like that on both sides, and then it has a little tab in the top there. You can see that tab there, and then inside there a little slot. So when you've got it just standing here, that just fits into that slot so that you can keep these symmetrical and in place there. That's not looking quite right, but there we go. So that's a pretty cool design feature. The side skirts are just pretty standard movement there, nothing too special. They will move forward and back and up and down and all of that. The back skirt is going to move up and down a little bit, and we've got some pretty cool thrusters there up underneath, set of 3 of them. So nice that that does move a little bit there as well. While we're here on the backpack, the wings, this kind of thruster piece is connected to the wing, and then the wing is connected to this center piece on the backpack. So the wing can move back and forth like that, and then this part can move independently as well on a ball joint there, so that can move all around. But I think there's really not a whole lot you want to do in positioning these wings other than just this kind of standard positioning. Of course, if you wanted to do something more like that, I guess, these like sort of flying forward, maybe point those a little bit more forward. I don't know, but they do move if you want to do any movement with them. The legs, again, are also going to be pretty standard here, just some rotation at the top. This hose piece on the back also bends when you're going to be bending the knee, so that's pretty nice. The knee bend is going to be about 90 degrees, not a whole lot, but again, it's enough, I think, to bring the knee up about that far. About as far as you're going to want it, I suppose. Pretty cool just design, I like with the curve of that, and the fact that it doesn't have like a big piece of knee armor like covering that up like we usually see most designs, just something else to keep this pretty unique in terms of its design. So the legs are pretty heavy, so I figure like while I'm moving them around like this, there's a possibility that they're going to fall out like that, so just keep that in mind. They are pretty heavy, a lot of stuff going on here and just very big. And then in the ankle, Not going to be a whole lot of side-to-side movement because of this part here on the side and this part here coming down. There's not really a whole lot of room for this to move. The foot doesn't bend at all, so there's no toe movement, so you can't really move it up and down, forward and back that far either. So the articulation for the ankle is very, very limited, but I don't know, not really a whole lot of choice what we can do there. And that pretty much covers it for the articulation. Pretty good, I think. Again, as I said, if it's close to master grade quality, or if it's like able to do all the movement that you would expect out of a master grade, then I think that is kind of what we want. If it was a master grade, could it move a little bit more? I think so, yeah, in a couple different areas, namely mostly just the ankles, possibly, but and maybe just a little bit more, and the feet. But other than that, everything moves, I think, pretty much anywhere you're going to want it for the most part. So that's the important thing. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the accessories. So for the hands, we've just got 2 closed fists there on the kit. Really great detail. That's one thing that I love about the RE kits, is that they've got great hands, which is always really important. So we've got closed fists there. Then we've got a set of open hands here again, and it's nice that we have them for both sides as well, instead of like just one left open hand. We've got both of them, so that just makes for a lot of great options. And again, really nice detail up inside there. So that is great. And then we also have a set of holding hands. Now, a little bit disappointing that these aren't trigger fingers, that we don't have like a specific trigger finger, because this does have rifles, or a rifle and a bazooka. So no trigger finger, sadly, but the holding hands here again are pretty nice and symmetrical for both sides, so the weapons are going to work in either the left or the right hand, which is good. So that is it for the hands. We do have our action-based connector as well. Then for the weapons, we have the beam naginata. I am not really a fan of naginatas, so for this, or like for the Gelgug, and just any mobile suits or anything anywhere that ever uses them, I'm not really a big fan of them. I don't really think that they make a whole lot of sense. You'd have to be really, really good not to hit yourself with the back end of it. But then we have our clear plastic effect parts for this, and again, if you didn't see the unboxing, these are new for this kit, so they are specific for this kit. Those are just going to plug in there. Pretty standard, nothing too special. They should plug in opposite like that. And then this does have a little peg on there that's going to peg into the hand, so you should have no problems holding that. I think it looks better without one, and if you just are using one side like that, I think would look much better. We'll try that when we go ahead and pose the kit. I think that would be better. Again, that's just personal taste though. And then we have our weapons that are the same weapons that came with the Hyakushiki, with the Master Grade Hyakushiki. We have the exact same runner. The only thing that's different is the handles. So here's the handles for the Hyakushiki runner. So these are our only 2 leftover parts other than a few polycaps. So these you can just throw away or use for maybe some handles for some other custom later. But the beam rifle, the only thing that's going to be really different is the colors. So we have this dark blue color there, and then this kind of energy cable there is yellow, where on the Hyakushiki it was gold, and I think this dark blue part was just gray or silverish kind of. Anyway, so a little bit different there. Green sticker there underneath for the camera. The handle is going to move, and when you move the handle forward, it pushes out this part on the top, and then that folds up to expose this hook. Then you can fold the handle back like that, and then that's how you're going to mount it on the backpack. I'll show you momentarily. Just like the Hyakushiki, you can mount the weapons on the backpack. Then the bazooka is a clay bazooka. There we go. The handle is currently folded. Let's fold that down. Handle for the clay bazooka does not have any pegs. So interestingly, for the beam rifle, we do have pegs on the side there that are going to peg into either the left or right hand. Clay bazooka though does not have that, so kind of interesting. The ammo clip on the back is able to come out like that, but nothing inside there, so no extra detail there. But some pretty nice detail just all around on it, just that vent on the back. Pretty nice looking at the barrel as well. And this part here doesn't move at all, so that doesn't move, no secondary handle, just pretty simple in terms of its construction really. So let me go ahead and show you how this is supposed to attach onto the back. That's it for the accessories. What you're supposed to do, if I remember correctly, is just you're supposed to pull out this wing part a little bit. It's gonna pull out the polycap, I think, but just want to plug that back in, and then you can put this, slide this on. When you pull out the peg just a little bit, it exposes some of that peg, and then that's where you're gonna want to slide this onto there, something like that. Then that's attached on there like so. And then the same thing for the beam rifle. Other side, let's just pull that out a little bit. Just pulling out the polycap, so push the polycap back in a little bit. Put that there. And then there we go, there's our weapons mounted onto the backpack. It's pretty cool. Let me fold up the handles there, like they're supposed to be. There we go. And then you can have those mounted on the backpack. It's pretty cool. I think it's useful for just being able to store all the weapons. And I forgot to mention that you can also store the naginata on here as well. It just stores on the back skirt. Here you can see there's that part. Like a lot of kits that have like a storage on the back skirt like this, a lot of times you can like fold that, close that up in some way. There's like a flap that opens up to put that on there. There's no movement there. It's just always going to be open. So you're just going to have to just deal with that. Just slides onto there and fits in like so. It's not all that tight, I've found, so that's probably going to fall off on you if you don't glue it in place, or if you're going to be moving it around a lot. But just keeping it standing stationary, it's able to hold that on there. So pretty cool. A mobile suit that is able to hold all of its weapons is always pretty good. So you're just able to hold all that stuff on the back. And then on the front, you've still got it just kind of clean looking, not busy here on the front, so that's good. But I think let's go ahead and put this in a couple of poses so that you can see some of the articulation. And for that, I'm going to put it up on an action base. Right, so here it is with the beam naginata. As I said, I think the articulation on this kit is very adequate, although the problem is that when you're using a weapon like a beam naginata, it's something that you're going to want to be able to pull off some pretty dynamic poses with it. And although this kit does some like kind of just stationary, standing, badass looking poses well, really like highly articulated, sort of super dynamic poses, it does not really do all that well with such a weapon. I think with the clay bazooka and with the beam rifle, I think you'll see it definitely looks a lot better. But with this weapon, it's not really all that interesting. One of the hindrances to that is something I forgot to mention in the articulation, is that the waist, of course, it can't turn at all. When it comes back around, you'll be able to see that the way that it's designed with the cockpit hatch, which is attached to the torso, going down into the skirt armor, this lower skirt armor piece, which is attached to the waist, with those pieces fitting together like that, there's no way that that's going to rotate at all. So without any rotation there at the waist, that is definitely kind of a big hindrance to its articulation. So beam naginata, I'm going to give that a no, in that it's not really working for this kit, I think, all that well. Unless you're a really big fan of that particular weapon, you might want to just save that and give that to another kit that might be able to use it better. There we go. Now personally, I think that looks a lot better with the guns in hand. I'm usually not a fan of putting a weapon in both hands. I usually like to keep it just to one weapon at a time. But just in this case, I think this kit does work with both of them in hand, just because I think that the design of that clay bazooka being like an underarm bazooka just works well, as like it looks like something that he's just kind of holding as like a secondary weapon, and he'll use it like the 5-6 shots, however many it's got in there, and then just like discard it. So I think just because it looks like a kind of like a disposable weapon almost, it looks like it's okay to kind of keep it as in like the left hand to just use up and then throw away, and then just like rely on the beam rifle. Something like that. I don't know, just my own personal taste about any sort of dual wielding any weapons. One thing that I also forgot to mention so far is that the mono eye is able to turn a little bit to the left and the right. It's just there is no like gimmick underneath or something. You just have to just kind of press it to the side. If you want to take off the top of the head, it does work a little bit better, but you don't really even need to. Just use some like piece, like even like your extra little handle piece, just kind of move it a little bit. That's pretty much all. But as you can see, the articulation is definitely not bad. It's able to pull off some pretty cool poses. One thing that is definitely still not working for me is the feet. The feet just need they need to be pointed down a little bit more when it's up on an action base. As it is now, they're still just a little bit too flat looking. So just to pull off like some convincing space or flight looking sort of poses, those feet need to be a little bit more pointed down, especially at the toes. So that's basically going to be my biggest complaints about it. There are a few areas where I wish the articulation was a little bit better. Beam naginata is really not all that interesting for me. And just overall the design, I wish they would have stuck more with the original design that they put out for this and keeping it a little bit more bulky. But the kit overall is good. I think I really like it. It's definitely really unique, so it's got that going for it. Definitely, it's a lot of really unique aspects of this design going on. The color separation is pretty good. I think there are a couple small areas where maybe we could have done with a little bit of more like gray color parts poking out maybe here and there on some of those, but that's pretty much it. It's got just the one yellow part on the rifle, a couple of red parts here on the backpack and some of those thrusters. Just around on the chest, it's got the red cockpit hatch yellow parts there to give it some nice little pops of color there around the chest. And then otherwise just like the teal and like navy blue color is a really unique color scheme that we don't really see all that often. So it's definitely unique. That's going to be probably the biggest selling point for this. And again, I've said this in past videos talking about the RE line. I'm a huge fan of the RE line just because that's what it's doing. It's giving us these really unique designs in a really nice model kit form, so where we probably wouldn't get these designs anywhere else other than possibly like a just random HGUC, which is not very likely. We really only get those once in a blue moon. It's nice to have like a pretty regular schedule about getting these really unique, awesome designs once every 4 months. That being said, to wrap up this video, I just want to wonder about what's going to be the next RE, because there hasn't been any announcement at all. This came out in June, so that means the next one should be out in September, maybe end of September or beginning of October, something like that, but we haven't had any announcement for it at all. It's now the middle of August, so I don't know, we're already just about 2 months into the 4-month stretch between kits. So what do we think is going to come out? I don't know, there's a lot of possibilities of what people think might be coming in the RE line. So far they're only sticking to UC, so I have a pretty good reason to believe that it's not going to be anything outside of the UC timeline, but could be wrong about that. But so far, based on what we know, they're only sticking to UC timelines for now. So there's still a lot of really awesome possibilities there, so we'll just have to see. I think that because we haven't got any news about it, that it's going to be something pretty big, maybe similar to the Nightingale, where it's just like a really huge kit. So I don't know, that's just what I think. Again, I could very easily be wrong about that, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What would you like to see in the RE line? What do you think that the next one could be? Or did they give up the RE line already? I don't think so, but it is a possibility that 4 kits was it and they decided, no, it's not worth it, we're not going to keep up the line. But I don't know. I don't think so. We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.